To perform the posterior hip capsule stretch, I want you to grab a foam pad or a pillow to place underneath your knee. So starting with your left knee on a pad, you're going to extend your right knee back. You're going to cross that right knee over your left ankle. Then from here, you're going to go onto your elbows. And then once you're in this position, you want to feel the stretch in your left back hip pocket. So if you don't feel the stretch, what I want you to do is I want you to shift into your hips. So shift over to the left side, shift over to the right, and wherever you feel the stretch, that's where you're going to stay for the prescribed amount of breaths that we have for you. Now you're going to go into your Adductor Rocks, keeping that left knee down on the ground. Britt's going to come up onto her hands. She's going to extend her right leg out to the side. From here, you're going to plant your foot down so it's flat on the ground in line with your knee. Once you're in this position, you're going to rock your hips back, like you're going to sit your butt back onto your heel, feeling a stretch in the right groin. Come back up and sit your butt back onto your heels. Repeat as many times as prescribed. After you've done your Adductor Rocks, we're going to get into a half kneeling position. So here, keeping that left knee down the whole time, we're going to have our right leg, knee in line with our ankle. From here, Britt, you're going to put your hands on your head. You're going to take a breath in, and we're going to do our half kneeling thoracic rotations. So on your exhale, you're going to rotate towards that forward leg. Pause at that end range, and then come back to the start position. And repeat as prescribed. Once you've performed your half kneeling thoracic rotations, we're going to stay in this position and we're going to perform our half kneeling ankle dorsiflexion mobility drill. So from here, I want you to maintain your ankle down on the ground the whole time. Put your hands on your knee. You're going to drive your knee over your second toe as far as you can, keeping your heel down on the ground the whole time. Once you're in this position, I want you to try to pull your toes up towards your shin for a 10-second hold. Once you've done 10 seconds, you're going to pressure off. Keeping your heel down again the whole time, you're going to repeat. Drive that knee over your middle toe. Find that end range. Pick your toes up towards your shins and hold for another 10 seconds. Then you'll pressure off. Repeat as prescribed. After you've done your ankle dorsiflexion mobility drills, we're going to have you go into your half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So staying in this position, we're going to stretch the hip flexors of your left side. So from here, I want you to maintain a neutral pelvis. Now most of us live in an anterior pelvic tilt, so you may have to, in order to find your neutral pelvic position, you may have to go into a posterior pelvic tilt, tucking your tailbone under, keeping your lower abs engaged, ribs down. From here, I want you to squeeze the hip of the leg that's down, and then we're going to gently bring our knee over our second toe until you find a stretch in the hip flexors or a stretch in the quads, depending on how tight you are. Hold this position, and then we're going to repeat this entire circuit on the other side. So we're going to get back down into our posterior hip capsule stretch. Shift the foam pad underneath your opposite knee. We're going to extend your left leg out, crossing over your right ankle. Go down into your elbows. And find that stretch on the right hip towards the back hip pocket. And again, once you're here, shift your hips from side to side and see where you can intensify that stretch. And then you're going to move into your Adductor Rocks. So from here, Britt's going to come back up onto her hands. She's going to extend her left leg out to the side. And she's going to sit her butt back onto her heels. And come back up. Her foot's staying flat on the ground the whole time, getting a stretch in her left adductors. All right, once you know your Adductor Rocks, we're going to go back to the half kneeling position. Hands going to go on your head. Ribs down, core engaged, take a breath in. Exhale, rotate towards that forward leg. Inhale, come back to the start position, and repeat. Perform as many reps as we have prescribed for you. From here, we're going to go into our ankle dorsiflexion mobility drill. Maintain heel contact the whole time. Hands on your knees. Drive your knee over your second toe. Keep that heel down. Find your end range. And we're going to bring our toes towards our shin for a 10-second hold. And then we're going to pressure off. Repeat as prescribed. Heel down. And then you're going to go back into your half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So from here, put your hands at your side. Go into a slight posterior pelvic tilt. Keep your lower abs on. Ribs stay down. Squeeze the glute of the leg that's down. Drive your knee over your second toe until you find a stretch in the front of your hip or in your quads. Hold this position as prescribed.